Well, we have quite a crowd. We're grateful that all of you are here today. And as has been said, our topic is the women's softball program at Lubbock Christian University. I think my timing is right on this. A bit over 3 years ago, our athletic director, Paul Heiss, and our chief academic officer, Dr. Rod Blackwood, began conversations about the idea of beginning a women's softball program on this campus and all the benefits that would bring. And shortly into that conversation, Shannon Hayes arrived and began to talk to us about women's softball, and then we injected Rip Griffin into those conversations, and a little over 3 years ago we began what we call the silent phase of women's softball on the campus of Lubbock Christian University. Silent phase meant we hired Shannon Hayes. He spent a year recruiting players. We spent a year gathering funds, building a very nice softball playing park and field, and then came year two. In year two, we began to play softball. And it was what we call kind of a miraculous year. Everybody can remember that year? I mean, we're talking about win after win after win. And in that first year, they go off to the national tournament, and they win the national tournament. Then came year three, this last year, and again it's win after win after win. It's kind of unheard of. They go to the national tournament the second time, and they don't win it, but they could have. They got fairly close. Then came Texas Tech University, and they were looking for a softball coach for their women's team. And they made an offer to our coach, Shannon Hayes. Now, I don't in any way begrudge Texas Tech University. Their idea is to go out and hire the very best softball coach they can find in the country. It just so happens we believe we had the very best softball coach in the country, and so they hired Shannon Hayes. So for the last 2 months, ever since I got that phone call one day from Shannon, I barely heard his voice. Knew it was Shannon. I knew what was coming next. And I started laughing. I knew what he's fixing to tell me. But since that day, we've been talking about what do we do with a program of such great stature and a program that we want to continue the way it has been. Where do we find someone to lead the program? Now, I think many of you in this room have heard me say on several different occasions that when we hire a coach, or we hire a vice president, or we hire anybody, our first consideration is character. Everybody remember that that's part of this team? And I normally define character in two ways. I mean, there are a lot of attributes to character that we consider, but two ways. One is faith, the other is humility. Because I believe that those people who have an outward faith in an eternal creator and have a humility that goes along with that are blessed. And I believe that institutions that have those kind of people are blessed. And after all that, we start looking for things like ability, in this case, coaching ability. So Paul began to have conversations with the man that I'll introduce in just a moment. And I began to have a few conversations. And to my great surprise, as I asked questions like, who could we get to lead this program, and can you help us a little bit, he said, what about me? What about letting me give it a shot? And remember a while ago when I said that Shannon was probably the very best softball coach in the nation? Well, he just almost the very best coach in the nation. Now, I can say that in jest, and I can say that with no offense to Shannon, because the person I'm about to introduce, along with his partner, his wife, brought Shannon into this world. Okay? And I suspect taught Shannon more about coaching than anybody's ever taught Shannon about coaching. So everybody knows I'm talking about Larry Hayes, okay? Now watch what I'm saying. We got a fella here who has character, maybe better than most of us put together in this room. The faith, the humility, the other attributes. We've got a fellow here who knows coaching probably better than anybody I could ever talk to. who has coaching that's been demonstrated with success after success after success. We got someone who knows softball. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me or asked me this question: have you ever seen Larry Hayes throw a fast pitch softball? My answer is often no, I haven't seen it. You should have seen it. I mean, he throws that arm around and around. I don't say he's got a shoulder left, but he throws that fast pitch. He played this semi-professional, or what was called, softball all over the country. And here's the best part. He loves Lubbock Christian University. And so we believe that today I am announcing that Coach Larry Hayes is leading coaching women's softball at Lubbock Christian University, and we have the best in the nation. And Larry, you will never know how much I appreciate you for your character that I've mentioned, for your love for LCU, for your friendship to all of us. And I ask you to welcome to this podium our coach, Larry Hayes.